folks. Welcome to another episode of Dogdude Encounters Radio. I'm your host, Mick Jaggeth, and I'll be your host for this evening. So, happy holidays, folks. Tonight we have a special guest. I'm going to call him B. Okay, so, B, welcome to tonight's episode, and give us a brief bio on yourself, B. Okay, Mick. I'm B. I'm the Jack of the city. Yo, I live in Nevada. I'm a hustler. I was holding. I was on my block. Okay, so I forgot. I was supposed to give a bio on myself. My name's B. I live in the city in Nevada. And I've lived on the streets my whole life. And I've been hustling since I was 10 years old. Doing what it takes to pay the bills. To get that money. To get those ends. And I've seen a lot of stuff. And I've been to prison before I did my time. And I thought I had seen everything. I've been in gunfights. I've been in gang wars. And that was all nothing compared to how shook I was after what I seen, Mick. Okay, B. Well, just jump right in like usual, and we'll go from there. And thanks for being here tonight. And just roll with the flow, B. Yeah, I used to live on the streets, B. Yeah, I've been there, you know. Okay, G. So I was needing some ends. I needed money badly. Had to pay the bills. I had to pay my car insurance. I had to get new gold chains. I wanted to impress some hot chicken heads on the corner. I needed a woman, and so I was out hustling on the block. Late at night. It was hot. It was like 100 degrees, and I was holding. And I had my piece, and I was serving customers. And then I ran out, and it was like maybe 1 a.m., and I had to go back to my stash. And around the block in the corner, by a dumpster, I had my stash hidden. So every now and then when I'd run out, I'd go out, find my stash and re-up, because I never carried a big stash on me. And so I ran out there, and I ran to get my stash. And it was in an alley. And yo, I was all smoking some fine green that evening. So I was a little drowsy. I'd been up slinging for 5, 6, 7 hours, drinking Hennessy. And you know how that is. So I went around the corner to go into the alleyway. And it was all pitch black. And I heard grunting. And as I was getting closer to my stash, I seen like a big shadow. It was all black, and it was like grunting, and I just stopped, and I was watching it because it was near my stash, and I was like, I thought it was some other G trying to steal my shit, man. So I pulled out my piece, and I pointed it at this big, and I thought it was just this big dude, and who knows. And as I got closer, this thing freaking was hunched over, sniffing around where my stash was. and I couldn't believe it. This thing was must have been at least 500 pounds. It smelled like a garbage can, and it turned and looked at me as I got closer, and its eyes were glowing red, and it bared its fangs and growled, and its growl knocked me over. I fell on the ground like it shot out some sort of vibration frequency, like that heavy bass woofers. We'd be kicking it, and I got up with my piece and I pointed it at the thing, and it started walking forward more into the light towards me. And it was sniffing and sniffing. So it must have smelled because I had weed in there. I had coke. I had it wanted that. It was looking for it, and I just held my gun right up, held it, and the thing just stood up. It was lurching forward, and it stood up, and then it opened its mouth, and it was growling, and its thing was like on steroids. I couldn't even believe it was all gray, and it was just all muscle, and it looked exactly like a wolf combined with a German Shepherd combined with a hyena. So I stood there with my piece, and I was holding it face, and the thing just was looking at me. It wasn't even moving, like it wasn't even bothered, but it knew that somehow my gun was gonna get it, like it was afraid of it or something, like it just knew, and it was like a standoff, and I just couldn't wait, so I just shot. I just went boom, 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 5 times right in the chest, boom, 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 and the thing, I didn't even see no blood come out of it or nothing, and it just stood there and took the round, and then it just looked at me and said, in my mind, it just it said, fuck you, you're lucky. You're lucky that you're protected by, I can't attack you right now. And it's just some sort of thing, like it said, you are lucky. Next time, if you didn't have that gun, I would kick your ass right now. So I don't know what that meant, but it ran off, and I got my drugs, and I got my stash, and I got the hell out of Dodge, back to the corner. I left. I haven't been back there hustling in that area of the city. I took over. I just completely changed my life since then. Okay, Mick? Well, I'll be darned. Who would have ever thought that you'd run into something like that right in the middle of the city? And they was sniffing around looking for your stash. Maybe it smelled that weed or something. You must have had some good weed there, B. It's just an amazing encounter. And if you didn't have that piece, you'd probably be dog meat. Okay, folks. Well, B, thank you for coming on this episode tonight, and I hope you're well, and just watch your back out there, B, and keep slinging. Yeah, so that's it. Happy holidays, folks, and thanks for tuning in to Dogdude Encounters Radio. This is Mick Jaggeth. I'm out of here. Later on, folks.